Good morning. This is Rebecca Robe. I currently teach psychology for high school students, and I will be talking to you today about sleep cycles, and a few sleep disorders. That's what I'm teaching about in my class right now. So I'm extra fascinated by it the past few weeks. So when we go to sleep, we don't just, it's not just we're awake and then we're asleep. There's different stages that we go through, and about every 90 minutes, we'll pass through all five stages of sleep. So there are five stages. The first stage is a transitional phase between sleep and wakefulness. It's characterized by decreased muscle tone and body temperature. I like to think of this stage of sleep as not necessarily you're asleep, but more a transition into sleep. So if you were, laying on the couch watching movies with your family or friends, you would easily be able to. They would kind of nudge you awake, and you would kind of remember what was happening in the movie, but you were aware that you were falling asleep. So you're not totally, unconscious. You're kind of transitioning into sleep. So that's the first stage, and it's called non-REM stage one, and I'll define what REM means soon. Stage two is just a little bit deeper version of stage one. It's called the true state of sleep. So it's like, okay, now you are actually asleep, and it involves deeper relaxation. Your brain waves are going to have theta brain waves, and this is also the stage where you can easily get those hallucinations where you feel like you are falling and you kind of jerk yourself awake. That can happen in stage one or stage two, and it's kind of scary. It feels like your body is actually falling, and you kind of jerk yourself awake. So that's when that can happen, and this would be called non-REM stage two. So stage three is entry into slow wave sleep, or some people call it S sleep, and that's going to be stage three and four is the slow wave sleep. So this is like you are now asleep. You're getting into a much deeper sleep, and you're going to have delta waves if you were to look at an EEG machine. Stage four is the deepest stage of sleep. You're going to have delta wave activity, and sometimes the two, stage three and stage four, will be combined into just N3 sleep or slow wave sleep. There's a couple different terms for it. And then finally, our last stage of sleep is going to be REM, which stands for rapid eye movement. Some people call it stage 5 REM, some people just call it REM. But however you name it, it's where most dreaming occurs, and it's where I tell my students it's the brain sparkle section of sleep, because it's the most important. It's where your mind is able to rejuvenate itself over the night. So if you deprive yourself of REM sleep in stages 1 through 4, your body is going to be able to rest, but your mind will not be able to. Your mind is only able to rest and rejuvenate in REM sleep for the most part. So it's the most interesting stage. Like I said before, it's where most dreaming occurs, and there's also paralysis of muscle in the body. And it's not essential for survival. Your body is supposed to kind of go into a type of coma. And if you were to look at an EEG machine, it's going to look very similar to active wakefulness. So if I were to scan a brain of a person who's sleeping in REM and a person who's awake, the two brain scans are going to look more similar than they are different, which is really interesting because it's where we're the deepest into our sleep.